Hey everyone, you're here with Goran and you're here for your free pick in Leipzig versus Bayer Leverkusen matchup in German Bundesliga on Saturday. Well guys, Leipzig has finally gained some consistency and they are now undefeated in their last 8 games, and I'm sure that win in the Champions League against Real Madrid is going to be a huge confidence boost for this team, which is something they definitely needed. With that win, Leipzig has stayed in play to advance past the group stage in the Champions League, and they're now in second place. But they are playing against Shakhtar next week in the Champions League, and that's a game where they need at least the draw because they have lost the first game 4-1, and if they lose this one, Shakhtar will be taking over the second place and they will be getting past the group stage and not Leipzig. So, like I said, Leipzig does need at least a point in that game. They're playing on the road, and it's definitely not going to be an easy game because Shakhtar is not a bad team at all. To be honest, they got a draw against Celtic in the Champions League earlier this week. As far as Bundesliga goes, Leipzig, like I said, is undefeated in their last 8 games, and they're slowly climbing the standings. Now they're in 9th place with 16 points, but the only thing that keeps them afloat is their offense, who has been picking up slack somewhat for the lack of their defense, and I'm not sure they can count on that here because I expect them to rest a few players for that Champions League game, which is honestly, in my opinion, a bit more important than this one. As far as Leverkusen goes, they have been so hot and cold this season, all over the place on both ends, creating chances but unable to score goals. When they score goals, they can't defend, and it's been the same story with them. They have a sloppy start to season, and then they pick up the pace. But once they do that, it's way too late to be competitive for the top spot or possibly even the Champions League. Now, they are getting a few players back from the injury list, but they are also playing in the Champions League next week, and they're still in play for that Europa League spot. So if Leverkusen beats Club Brugge and Atletico Madrid doesn't beat Porto, Leverkusen will be going to the Europa League, and I would assume they want to play in Europe for the rest of the season, at least on the spring, because it means money into their cash register from UEFA. But with their form and their oscillating performances and whatnot, I'm not sure how well they can do in that game next week. As far as this one goes, I just gotta go with both teams to score an over 2.5. Like I said, both teams have been struggling defensively, but they have been creating chances in the attack again and scoring more and more goals. So I expect a fairly open game with very little defense here, and for that reason, both teams to score an over 2.5, minus 141. It is a bit expensive, yes, but I'll have to take that price and just chalk it up. So both teams to score an over 2.5. That's my free pick for this one, guys. That's it. That was your free winner in Leipzig versus Bayer Leverkusen, guys. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the rest of the free content, and I'll see you soon in more free picks.